Are traditional universities a good place to learn how to code? It's a good place. However, there's a lot of room for improvement. So in addition to teaching at Popcorn Robot, I also teach in the university system, UCLA. And I learned how to code in the university system. I was so proud to write down UC Irvine on my resume. I'm really confident that that's one of the reasons why companies are willing to take a risk on me when I had just graduated. So imagine my surprise when the first thing my employer tells me is, forget everything you learned in college. You know, this is the first time I felt ahead of the game because I was like, don't worry, I already did. There's a big gap between what universities teach and what you need to know in the field. So universities are really good at teaching theory, but they're not so great at teaching applications. And fundamentally, we really want to know the practical side because that's where, how many of us are really going to academia, right? So that's one thing that's kind of misguided and where we're not really hitting the mark. The next thing is we tend to approach education as an information and knowledge problem. But really, learning how to code is a skill problem. So imagine you were sitting in an airplane going to fly to Cancun and you heard this pilot announcement.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Just as a heads up, this is my first time flying a plane. But don't worry, I watched 1,500 hours of YouTube videos and lectures, so I'm feeling very confident. So sit back, relax, and let's enjoy the flight.
You'd be uncomfortable, right? Because how would you feel comfortable with a pilot who only has 1,500 hours of watching YouTube videos and lectures? That's why flight schools require you to have 1,500 flight hours. They want experience. You want to be practical. And what I learned is that when you're in the field, you learn very differently than you do in the academic system. See, when I was in college, I learned by reading lectures and tests and quizzes, right? But when you're in the field, you learn through experimentation, playing around with the code, and tinkering. And then that becomes the way to learn. And that's really what we should be training students to do. That's what we do at Popcorn Robot. We focus on getting you guys to learn how to code by showing you how to tinker with it, how to play with it. The last thing that students complain about is a lot of times we teach in the university system outdated stuff. And let me tell you, there's a very good reason why. I didn't even understand why until I tried to get Popcorn Robot accredited. And what happened is that it takes 5 years to get your program accredited. So imagine if the most cutting edge technology that you can make in your education system is 5 years old. 5 years ago, the iPhone 8 was cutting edge. And in the software industry, things move so quickly that we can't wait 5 years. And so that's why there becomes a big lag between what the university system teaches and what we need in the field. So those are the things that are kind of make the university system clumsy and outdated. And this is what we do in Popcorn Robot to try to solve those problems by being quicker, teaching you the most updated stuff, and being more practical. And if you learn this way, I'm sure that your education and your fundamentals and your foundation will be stronger and more resilient.